Hey, I'm back, this time for the first time in years and years and years with a video of my 8 tips and tricks for using up your Bath & Body Works stash. So I am putting this together because I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago, I had a comment requesting a video like this. So here I'm just delivering on that. And it was kind of fun to kind of put together a list of what I would recommend for people who want to get through their stash. So if you're new, welcome. My name is Rachel. I love Bath & Body Works products. I worked for Bath & Body Works for, I don't know, maybe about a year and a half doing floor sets. And I've just been a Bath & Body Works fanatic for a really long time. So if you are new and if you love Bath & Body Works, definitely subscribe because most of my videos are about Bath & Body Works. If you are returning, thank you for supporting my channel. It's always nice to have you. And as always, if you want to know more about me, on my Instagram, I post Bath & Body Works stuff there. I post candle stuff, lots of fashion, anything about work, my cats, personal life, whatever. If you're interested in knowing me outside of my YouTube channel, you can also check me out there again on Instagram. That's Lifting and Lipstick. I'll put that down below for you. So without further ado, let's get into my 8 tips and tricks for using up your Bath & Body Works stash. So my tip number 1 is to set a challenge for yourself. So maybe that means documenting here on YouTube, like what I do again every single season. I started my Bath & Body Works challenges honestly on a whim back in fall of 2020 because I just wanted something different to do on my channel. And now it's just kind of become a fixture where every single month I'm again doing an intro or giving an update or doing a finale or whatever. And yeah, it just has become a rolling thing on my channel and I really love it. So I personally will document my challenge on my channel. I also have a spreadsheet of how many products I have in each category, and I maintain that spreadsheet over time. So in a couple different ways, I document what I'm using up and I set goals for using up my stash. So it seems a little silly to normal people in the outside world, but for us that makes sense, especially if you are struggling with your Bath & Body Works stash in some way. Present a challenge to yourself that is realistic, but also pushes you to use up your products, but also enjoy them. So usually in a 3-month period, I will use up between 40 and 50 products. It really just depends on the type of products, the size of them, etc. Sometimes how motivated I am. But yeah, generally speaking, it's just really helpful for me to be able to document what I've used up in a season. I document about every 6 months a series of my Bath & Body Works collection, and it really just helps me see what exactly I have and what is realistic for me to use in the upcoming season. So in some kind of way, I would recommend creating a challenge for yourself and documenting it in some way. My next tip that I have is to focus on one product at a time. If you are the person who needs variety in everything, like if you need variety in your lotion or your moisturizer, if you need variety in your fine fragrance mist, if you need variety in your hand soaps, I don't know, whatever, then fine if that works for you. But if you are struggling with that, and personally for me, I do a better job if I can feel like I'm really seeing my progress day to day, or at least week to week. So for me, that looks like focusing on one product at a time. So for example, I have only one moisturizer going at a time. Right now I'm using up a lotion in Black Raspberry Vanilla. It's kind of like my November tradition fragrance, if you will. So I'm using up one lotion. I'm using up one fine fragrance mist. It's a full size, also in Black Raspberry Vanilla. I have one soap per sink. I really don't swap them out because honestly, I use up my soaps about every 3 weeks or so. And so I know that, I'm not going to swap them out on my sink. I just need to kind of get through them and focus so I can move on. The only exception I would say to that is that I do typically have 2 shower gels going. I do that for a couple reasons. Number 1, I do want that variety in the shower. Why the shower is different than moisturizing at night, couldn't tell you, but that's just me, baby, So I do have 2 shower gels in my shower pretty much all the time. Right now I have a Black Raspberry Vanilla because I'm using up that trio, and I also have a pumpkin pecan waffles going in my shower. So right now, I love that every other night, if I am so inclined, I can decide, okay, tonight I want a perfumey berry, or tonight I want gourmand, whatever. So that really helps me get through those shower gels, and I use up shower gels quickly enough that I'm really not concerned about making sure I get through X number every month because I get through them so quickly. So again, in that way, I do like my variety. But again, if you looked in my shower, you're still not going to see like a row of like 10. That to me is too many. If I have too many options, I do get a little overwhelmed. I like to have a couple sometimes, but I really like to be able to focus on one thing at a time and see that progress over the course of a week or a couple days or whatever. So that really helps me stay motivated, really being able to see what I'm doing and to see that my efforts are not in vain. That definitely gets me through. So again, if you are a variety person, stick with the variety. If you know that you're getting through your products that way, I say go for it. But if you're struggling, then maybe hone in on that one product at a time. My third tip is to have your products visible. This honestly may be like my number one, because to me, I'm kind of an out of sight, out of mind kind of person. So if I don't have my products front and center, if I'm not just looking at them in that moment, it's not that I forget about them, but I just like don't have it in my mind on the day-to-day to use them. So I have a trinket tray on my nightstand next to my side of the bed, and on that trinket tray, among like hair ties and like I don't know, whatever, I also have my black raspberry vanilla lotion. I have my fine fragrance mist. I do have a mini mist from Victoria's Secret that I use primarily as a pillow mist. So I have my products really front and center in my life. I really don't keep them hidden away if I'm actively using them in that moment. So seeing them and remembering to use them definitely helps me stay consistent, and again helps me to track my own progress over the course of a couple of days or a week. So that's very helpful to me. Again, if you tend to forget about your products, definitely have some kind of system where they're set out, where they're on your sink, where they're on your nightstand, if they're in your purse, whatever, have them front and center in your life. My next one, speaking of having things in your purse, is to travel with your products. So I do have some travel size products legitimately, but honestly, most of the time in my cosmetics bag that I carry in my purse, I do have a couple of they're like 2-ounce travel size bottles that one would buy at Target in the travel section. So, they're not a product in and of itself. It's just a container for something else. So something that I do that, I don't know, I think is a little bit silly, but it does help me get through my products is I will essentially put like 2 ounces of my fine fragrance mist into that travel size bottle. I will put 2 ounces of my lotion from that month into a travel size bottle for lotion, because as I, go throughout my day, whatever, I'll want to reapply that fragrance, or I'll want to reapply lotion, or I'll want to use some like a PocketBac. So I have a stash that lives in my purse, and most of the time that stash comes directly from my full-size products. So again, I'm not just that person who leaves the products next to my bed or whatever and uses them once a day. I'm using them throughout the day, and that really helps me, again, get through it when I'm at work, when I'm traveling, when I'm at a restaurant. If I'm wanting to use like a PocketBac or whatever, like having it with me regularly, and by that I mean pretty much all the time, really helps me, again, stay focused. And because I'm pulling that product from my full-size items that I keep at home, that definitely helps me get through them as well. And that's ultimately part of what gets me through a full fine fragrance mist every single month. That is my average, by the way. So sometimes I get through them quicker. Sometimes they'll take me like 5 weeks. But typically I can get through one full-size mist every single month. And it's really in large part due to the fact that I do keep 2 ounces of that mist in my bag at all times. So my number 5 is to stay consistent. Again, it's really all about having your products be accessible to you. It's really about having them visible, deciding if you are a variety person or if you just need to focus on one product at a time. Take some time to experiment, but once you determine what works best for you, stay consistent with that. Have your things visible to you. Make sure that you're actually using them. Have some kind of routine, even on the weekends, for using up your products, because if you lose your weekends and if you're not using up your products, then especially if you're kind of like me in the sense that you like to use up products month by month, losing those weekend days can definitely start to add up. So stay consistent with that. Have some kind of routine. If it is a, self-care routine, then work your products into that. But have some kind of system that works for you. Be consistent, have things visible, and that will help you get through. Number 6 is to develop alternate uses for your products. So I don't do this for everything, but a couple of things that I would recommend is number 1, anything that is antibacterial or really anything that has alcohol in it can oftentimes get rid of a stubborn stain on a hard surface. So what I mean by that is, you guys know I'm an educator, so with like whiteboards in my office, if there is a difficult stain on that, anything with alcohol. So again, like my fine fragrance mist, like my antibacterial products, I can use those to help me get those stains off my boards. Or if I have like a pen or a marker stain on my desk for one reason or another, antibacterial products or products with alcohol will help me get rid of those. In addition, probably the most common way that I use my products in an alternative way is I use my shower gels as shave moisturizers. So it has been probably 6 or 7 years since I bought a shaving cream or a shaving gel. I just use my shower gels in place of that. I do that for a couple of reasons. Number 1, I think that a shower gel, especially from Bath & Body Works, lathers really nicely. So I don't do like huge gobs of it on my legs when I'm shaving, but I just put enough in my hand that I can lather it really nicely and, like spread it over my leg or whatever. And really just create that barrier, between your skin and your razor that you need. But also because shower gels are meant to wash away, they don't clog your razors. So when I discovered that that was a good alternative to me, and I knew that I would always have my shower gels and I wouldn't need to spend the money to get a shaving cream or shaving gel or whatever, I was just like, well, I already have this product, so I might as well. So, that obviously slows down some in the fall and winter, but especially in spring and summer, I do go through my shower gels pretty quickly because for that reason, I do have that alternative use for them. So, in addition, I also don't bother with the car scents. I can appreciate that Bath & Body Works sells them, but I just think they're way overpriced and they really don't last. So for that reason, because I do travel with a 2-ounce bottle of whatever fine fragrance mist I'm using that month, I will also use that as a car spray whenever I'm so inclined. So again, I really don't bother with the scent clips and whatever. I really just use a normal fine fragrance mist for that, and also as a pillow mist instead. So again, I can appreciate that Bath & Body Works has this diversity, this product range of things you can buy, but I personally really don't need them. So again, having those alternate uses for different kinds of products can really help me get through them. The last two, numbers 7 and 8, are not so much tips for using up your stash per se, but rather tips for keeping your stash in check. So my number 7 is to know yourself. So I think from doing all my challenges, I can tell you definitely it takes me about 3 weeks to get through a hand soap. It takes me about 4 weeks to get through a PocketBac. It also takes me about a month to get through a full-size fine fragrance mist. It takes me about a month to get through a full-size lotion. I can get through about 4 shower gels, 4 full-size shower gels in a month. Again, the reason why I know that is because I've spent so long documenting and challenging myself that I can tell you consistently, this is what I can get through. So for that reason, when I go to Bath & Body Works, if I'm shopping for a season or whatever, I'm going to be really cognizant of what I'm buying. I will say that in some ways that is still a work in progress and may always be, because if you guys have been with my channel for a while, you know that soaps are my weaknesses. I can't even explain it, but I love hand soaps from Bath & Body Works. Everything else I'm pretty good with. I buy a lot of shower gels, but I also get through a lot of shower gels. You know what I mean? So it's really soaps that take me a little bit longer, again, 3 weeks-ish, but I just love them so much. So I do struggle the most with my soap collection, but everything else I'm really solid because, I am generally not tempted a lot by PocketBacs unless I'm really dying to have a fragrance. I'm generally not tempted by moisturizers, fine fragrance mists, kind of, but because I know it takes me forever to get through them, it's pretty easy for me to walk away. So if I'm not passionate, I'm talking real passionate about a fragrance, then I'm really not going to pick up a moisturizer or a fine fragrance mist. So I'll pick up a couple from time to time, but it's really nothing. So my shower gels is definitely where I like to experiment, and I know that I can because I get through them so quickly. So I kind of let myself let loose and have fun with those shower gels. But again, it's really about knowing yourself and keeping yourself in check while you're in the store. That definitely helps me, number one, make sure I'm getting through my products, but also number two, be very intentional about what I'm bringing in. Because the hauls and whatever on YouTube are fun, but ultimately it's me who's paying for the products, and it's also me who has to get through them. So, you know, I have to make sure that it works for me. And then finally, number 8 is, again, making those intentional purchases. So really knowing that I'm buying this thing because I love it. So, you know what? I'm not here to knock people who will buy things without smelling them first. Like, honestly, from time to time I make online purchases and that's what it is. But I'm not the person who will just go and like just lose my mind in the store and just buy something because it's new or something because it's there or whatever. Like, again, I love watching crazy hauls. Like, hit me up with those crazy hauls. But I do like to watch them honestly from a distance, knowing like, oh, I can appreciate that like this product exists. I can appreciate seeing it on someone else's channel, like love it. I'm definitely not knocking that, trust me. But for myself, I want to make sure that I'm really intentional about making sure that what I'm buying is what I really love, because it is my job behind the scenes. You know, once I cut off the video, it's my job to use up everything that I bought. It's my job to pay for everything that I've picked up. So, you know, I just want to make sure that for myself, I'm being realistic. And that's why I really like my vibe on this channel, to be realistic. I think that there's definitely a place for people like that in our community. Again, I'm absolutely not knocking anyone who loves to just like, you know, hit me up with those like 40-minute hauls, hit me up with like blind smelling candles for the first time on your video. Like, love it. But I love that for other people. I don't really love that for myself. It's just not my vibe. I'm just, you know, I like to have a channel that feels realistic. I like to have a channel that feels intentional with my purchases and with my empties. So that's just me. But anyway, so that is my 8 tips and tricks for using up your Bath & Body Works stash. I hope y'all enjoyed. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And like I mentioned earlier, follow me on Instagram. On Instagram at Lifting and Lipstick. That's down below. Again, if you are new and if you are a Bath & Body Works person, definitely hit that subscribe button, because I'm always posting Bath & Body Works products. I love hauls, empties, talking about Bath & Body Works, etc. So that's all. I'll see you guys next time. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Bye.